Alright, guys, it is episode 4 of our regional prep series, and this might actually be the last deck build that we test out. I kind of stumbled upon this, and where I thought Dogmatika and Cyber Dragon would clash, as a lot of the Dogmatika cards lock you out of summoning from your extra deck, but usually it's after you start activating their effects. So I heard the idea, saw some gameplay of somebody else's build, and I decided to try and make it my own. And while I really like the build and what it's capable of, the deck is very fragile to hand traps. Not as fragile as pure Cyber Dragons, but still pretty up there. Like, an Ash and an Imperm can shut the deck down, or a Droll, forget about it, the deck just dies. But the ceiling for it is so damn high. I wanted to show it to you guys. The reason I said this might be the last deck that we go over is because the only other two builds I really know are Cyber Sprite and Cyber Sky Striker. I don't know if I'm really into the style of either one of them. So if you guys want to see that on this series before we can pick which one we're gonna go with out of those 5, 6 if you count pure, or if you guys want to help me decide between the decks that we've shown and then start working on it from there, because I've only got a couple more weeks until our first regional, so I'm trying to figure out what I want to take with me. But let's talk about this deck. Obviously we got some of our going second Void Worker, which is a Curiel Tannin. First Dogmatika card, Fleur de Lis. It's a searchable monster negate. You get the full combo, ends up searching this at the end of the turn because you send Titaniclad to the grave. It's pretty dope. Maximus obviously sends 2 from the extra deck, forces your opponent to do the same. It's also a level 8 light spellcaster, so dualities into Dragoon. We're only playing 1 Cyber Dragon, 3 Galaxy Soldier, because we want to be able to Galaxy Soldier into infinity as much as possible. Ecclesia is nuts. You can special summon yourself if there's an extra deck monster on the board, even if you control it, and get you a Dogmatika card. We're playing Ash Blossom and Ghost Ogre. Again, hand traps are flexible, hence why we got Droll in in the side. That's another thing about this deck. It can play a pretty good amount of hand traps. I think we're playing 9 right now, plus 3 board breakers. 3 core, 1 Naxter just to get stuff back. Hurts to be able to go into infinity. Nadir's Servant. Why this is not a Dogmatika card is so annoying, because otherwise Ecclesia would be able to search it, which would have made this card infinitely better. Emergency. Repair Plant, Duality. Secret Village is the hidden spice. I wasn't originally going to play this. You could easily take it out for something else. But being that all the Dogmatika cards we're playing are spellcasters, plus, Dragoon's a spellcaster, Winda's a spellcaster, this on top, it's so easy to get Dragoon, Winda, and this. If you open this, it just becomes infinitely better. And then Impermanence, my favorite trap card, and Schism for the window up. Extra deck, we're playing 1 Mega Fleet for contact fuse, Red Eyes Dragoon, because duality's busted. Titaniclad to dump and search. Chimera's like another contact fusion target. Apgalone for the window lock. Garua is just good to send, and it's a dark monster, which we need again for window. Rampage for OTK, double Entis. I'm not sure if I would want to keep this, but it is an extremely really good card to send off of Nadir's Servant. I was also running Dogmatika Punishment, but it kept on it got annoying trying to play around locking myself out of my extra deck for a turn. We've got Infinity, Nova, so Secure Gardener and Amirage. Obviously Amirage is good for Cyber Dragon, but Amirage and Secure Garden is also really good for the Dogmatika package, because you want to get an extra deck monster into the grave, so you can special summon Maximus by banishing 1. So it just helps out. The side deck is something I was messing with. I actually didn't realize it until it was too late that Clockwork Knight kind of screwed me because it actually is counterproductive to duality, but I did contact use the whole board away. So anyway, I've got some gameplay for you guys. We're gonna run through that real quick, and yeah, let's jump in. All right, we lost rock paper scissors, so we went second, which this is not 100% a go. This is definitely not a going second deck. This deck can absolutely go first. It can go second, but playing through a lot of interruptions is kind of a pain. Now, normally this would be a pretty decent hand, especially going first, but we're not going first. And once we realize that we're playing as Unchained, Secret Village is basically useless, and so is Ghost Ogre, because destroying their cards would just let them do more stuff. So this is why I was rereading Rakia, however you pronounce that, and I decided not to Ghost Ogre. So he popped his own card into special summon, and now he's got a special summon. Basically, he gets to destroy one of his own cards, and the trap card lets him summon from the deck. And now he summons this thing, which is I think one of their new monsters. And now that has an effect where it's sent to the grave. I'd say that there's a lot, all the new Unchained supports, a lot for me to figure out, so I kind of was just watching, trying to make sure I understood it all. Now he's gonna pop another card, summon again, which is gonna get him another summon from deck because those trap cards are nuts. But you know what you don't see him playing, like, at all? Spell cards. So unfortunately this matchup, Secret Village with the Spellcaster, is pretty much useless. This thing is annoying, and he actually misplays with it because he could have actually, like, straight killed me. Okay, he's still going, still summoning monsters. 2 dark level 5s. Yeah, Unchained is kind of nuts now. Okay, that thing's a little annoying too. Basically, if I use an effect that special summons a monster, he can just negate it. And I do have quite a few effects that can special summon monsters, like Duality, which I just drew. So first things first, I'm going to normal summon Hurts. The reason we wanted to do this was because he's going to actually try to contact use our monster, so we wanted to just, I'm sorry, not contact use, but like contact link, I guess you can call it. So we just like, let's just get rid of that monster now. He should have linked it away on summon, but he didn't, so we just contact used it. We use Hurts to get us our Cyber Dragon from deck. He activates Impermanence, which I thought was a little weird because he ends up negating Mega Fleet, which doesn't really help him or hurt us. It actually kind of helps us. We get our Cyber Dragon. Main phase 2, we activate Nadir's Servant. I'm sorry, not main phase 2, but our next play was Nadir's Servant. So in this situation, we end up sending it Entis to grab Ecclesia. Entis goes off, and we pop his monster. We don't want to pop his back row because his back row is most likely Unchained cards, which is just gotta let him start a whole chain of summoning. Yeah, we just do that. He does still have an effect that goes off when this card is sent. So I believe he gets a special summon. No, I guess it's a trap. So now we're locked out of our extra deck, but now we kind of got to show off the Dogmatika stuff a little bit. And I swear the randomizer for Project Ignis is kind of ass, because I tried it for 2 hours just to record some gameplay footage of the Dogmatika engine in Cyber Dragons, and all I was getting was Cyber Dragons. Like, I don't mind having a hand of all Cyber Dragons. I can obviously play Cyber Dragons, but the whole point was to show how the deck works together. And not only was I not getting hands with a combination of the engines, I was literally not seeing any Dogmatika cards for the entire games. So now he gets a special summon from the deck, and we get our search. I don't know why he book a wound. Like, the dude's wasting all his interactions on cards that don't matter. So we get Maximus. The reason I was double checking my grave is because you have to have an extra monster in the grave to be able to summon Maximus. So we summon out Maximus. I was basically trying to see if this was once per turn. The pop is not. So now we got a Maximus. Here's an Ab Cologne to get our window combo. And this is where I fucked up. Oh no. We sent Titaniclad. So at the end of turn, Titaniclad is going to search a Dogmatika card. So we're going to get Fleur de Lis to hand. It's also a dark monster, so between that and Ab Cologne, we have Winda as well. So we have our full combo right here. Unfortunately, Secret Village is a dead card. So now Ab Cologne searches Schism, and then we have to discard a card. We're going to discard the dead Secret Village, because we end up realizing that Secret Village just doesn't work. And then we're going to set Duality, set Shadal Schism, and pass turn. Now here's what I was talking about with the deck. As long as you do your extra deck plays before you start into your Dogmatika plays, you're absolutely fine. And now we can actually go into the other half of our combo, which is Duality. Well, I'll let you see in a second. But basically, Duality and Nadir Servant can get you this 100% of the time. So you're gonna basically pop his back row monster to special summon. We're gonna use Shadal Schism. Now, unfortunately, this isn't an ideal situation as he has a 3,000 point monster on the field, and we weren't able to pop it yet. But imagine this going first, or if we had opened up even a couple Cyber Dragon cards to be able to pop it, or if he had activated the fact to destroy one of my cards, we could have ghost over it. But it is what it is. But basically, we Schism, chain Duality. We're going to Duality into a Dragoon, and then we're going to Schism into Winda, using Titaniclad and Ab Cologne. Bung. No, I didn't care to send something to the grave. Now, unfortunately, Ecclesia is set, and that didn't register to me right now. If Ecclesia was face up, then we would also have the monster in the gate with Fleur de Lis, which we did. Unfortunate. But he basically gotta pop his monster. I let it happen because I'm just like, it's not something I really need to negate. He's gonna destroy one of my back row, and Schism already did its job. But he basically did it to get an additional summon. No, this is where he goes in the battle phase where he realizes he's locked out. He wanted to destroy his own monster to special summon, but he can't because we summoned Winda. He should have gone straight to battle phase, swung over Winda, and then did his play, but he didn't. So it ends up swinging over Winda, which is fine by me. Which lets us add a Shadal spell or trap card from graveyard to hand, so we get back Schism. I don't have another fusion to make, but I figured if we could Duality Winda back But I don't know. I don't have another Shaddoll monster besides. It was just the Abkalone, so maybe there's a way to get another Shaddoll monster back into the graveyard to bring Winda back out. So I just figured I'd grab it. Worst case scenario is discard fodder. This was a first draft of the deck, so maybe I can tweak the deck to fit in a second window. Because Winda is a pretty powerful card, especially alongside a Dragoon. Or an Infinity. Like, the absolute nuts in this deck would be Infinity, Dragoon. Our opponent surrendered, they couldn't get over the Dragoon. So we ended up siding out our Ghost Ogre since we don't want to destroy his cards and help him out. And we sided out our Secret Villages because he's not playing any spell cards. We threw in Cosmic Cyclone to banish his trap cards because, you know, that would stop him from getting those effects. And we threw in Nibiru in case he combos out. He actually let us go first, which was cool because the cards we added in... Oh, we also threw in Clockwork Knight in case we needed to contact view the whole board. Since so he only had one card that actually gets an effect off being sent, as far as I know. So I thought that would be a good idea. It turns out that actually cock blocks us, so you'll see that in a second. What happened here was the recording cut off in the middle of me summoning Core, so I missed that part of the recording. But he basically impermed the Core, which I was totally okay with, thankfully. So let us continue from there. So he impermed Core, so we end up linking Core into Amaraj. Now I didn't need to do this next part, but I was just being safe. So we end up linking Amaraj into Secure Gardener. The reason I said we don't need this is because we already have Nadir Servant in hand, which sends one for us. We end up activating Clockwork Knight, and then I realized too late that it screws us. Let me know if you guys pause the video now and see if you guys can figure out why that screws us. But we basically Nadir Servant. We send Garura. I think I said that right? Yeah, Garura. To get Ecclesia. Garura's effect goes off in the grave. Let's just draw a card. But this is basically the full combo right here. For at least the Dogmatika package. Because now we're going to special summon Ecclesia because we have an extra deck monster on the board, which I think is dope that it can do that. Ecclesia, his effect's going to go off. It's going to search us Maximus. We're going to summon Maximus. We're not going to summon Maximus because he ended up having a second imperm. This is what I mean about the deck falls apart to multiple hand traps. It sucks. Because we would have been able to get Maximus, summon Maximus, dump 2 more. And then we would have just set Schism and Duality, plus, you know, the Imperm. And then on our opponent's turn, we could have made Dragoon and Winda again. But, unfortunately, we couldn't even make Dragoon because I'm an idiot. So Clockwork Knight turns all monsters on the field into machines, including mine, which means Duality can't work on my monsters because they're not spellcasters anymore. They're machines. Once I realized that, I was like, shit, I basically just turned off my own Duality, so I had to figure out how I was going to play from there. Need Prosperities for 6. Thankfully, we have Ash Blossom, you know, when Ignis lets me click on it. He sets 1. We might have to use a different simulator. I'm not sure if I'm actually really liking Ignis. It looks nice, but I have some issues with it. Pops a special summon. We're chilling. Now, cool thing about Clockwork Knight that is helping is that, you know, obviously all my monsters are gaining 500, his monsters are losing 500. So, Ecclesia's a 2k beater. Secure Gardener is 15. I expected him to use the thing's effect to make a link. Again, he didn't. And then he put a monster in the he put a trap in the imprint column, which I guess doesn't really matter because they have a graveyard effects, but still. Now he pops his trap card to summon this thing. I'm I'm just chilling, waiting on the imperm. Nice, got his big boy out. Yep. This one also has an effect to make a link monster using my stuff. Well, this one's not a quick effect, so I'm a little confused. Maybe I'm wrong about what the Unchained card did. But he basically goes to make a link monster and I imprint it. And now his monster is 1900 compared to ours, and he just up and rage quits. I'm not actually sure how that would have went. I was expecting him to clear my board. I was going to use Core to summon a monster to contact fuse with his board since Clockwork Knight was on the board. But after that, I don't really know where it was going to go. The deck's cool. It's surprisingly consistent. But again, its weakness to hand traps. It actually feels more fragile to hand traps than even the branded engine. So I don't know. I like the concept behind this. It has a strong ass starting board, and can even kill my opponent if you get the full combo. It usually kills turn 4. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you guys want to see those other 2 builds, Sprite and Sky Striker on the channel, let me know in the comments. If you guys think I should just pick one of the 3 that we've already shown, let me know which one you guys are leaning towards. I think I'm leaning toward branded because I like the ability to just be able to kill my opponent. But I also really, really like this one. Sure, I got unlucky with hand traps in this match, but when my opponent can't stop all my plays, the deck just goes hard. But if you guys want to check me on social media, those links will be down below. If you guys want to play with me, again, let me know in the comments. That's it for me. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Later.